Welcome back to the show. People ask me, why NiteCap? Why NiteCap? The truth. As of late, that truth that I've been trying to discover, that truth that I've been trying to unearth, revolves around love and relationships. And my guest, Chad Ochocinco Johnson, has been honest enough to share what his truth is. We live in a society today where life coaches, books like Think Like a Man, women spend outrageous amounts of money and time trying to understand how we think. Quite honestly, women, the things I've done in my past, whether it be indiscretions in relationships, I don't even know why I did it. So there's no life coach or no author that, in my opinion, people who are selling you some packaged ideology to make you feel better about the fact that you don't control this situation, it's a joke. The conversation that I've had with Chad, there's been many people who have been upset. And my question is, some of the things he says, do I agree, do I disagree? What I agree on is that we all have an understanding of what makes us who we are. And what I do understand about people, it's harder for an individual to accept that they're not in control. It's harder for a woman to accept that this guy just doesn't want me. This guy has decided he's not gonna be with one woman. He's not just gonna be with me. It's easier for you to believe that there is something you're not doing right. There is something you can whip him into shape. I can read this book, and this book is gonna unlock the secret to why Peter Bailey, why Chad Johnson, why Tyrone, or whoever, whatever fantasy you have in your head is going to be with me. The harsh truth is there's nothing you have to do but be you. And that individual has that choice. Now, in the conversations I'm having with Chad, we're trying to understand as men what motivates that choice of monogamy. Is it a realistic choice or is it a fantasy? Either way, engage in this truth and receive it. Save your money on those books you buy. Because I think that God gave us the therapy and the life coach we needed free of charge. It's just called honesty. It's a healer. I think that you'll be made better after this conversation, or at least it'll make you think about things. Stay tuned. Visit IamPeterBay.com and our channel, NiteCap with Peter. Enjoy. Just real people, real convo. I'm Peter Bailey, and after discussing gangster rapper Schoolboy Q, I headed north to Davie, where Chad Johnson invited me to share a nightcap inside his palatial mansion. There, amid the eccentric luxuries befitting a superstar, we continued our conversation on monogamy, which Chad calls an unrealistic dream, one that even Dr. King himself cannot realize. Chad, how you doing, man?
What's good?
Man, we had to catch back up with the conversation. I wanted this time to be in the home because there was too much noise, distraction, because it seems like our conversation kind of struck a nerve in the culture.
Yeah.
The
truth?
Yeah.
The truth struck a nerve?
It seemed to strike a nerve.
We still searching for unicorns and mermaids, huh?
We're going to keep searching. I'm trying to find the truth. We talked earlier, you don't smoke weed,
No.
you don't drink. Last time you've been to a club is 06, 07.
607. And I don't really count hosting because, they have a 45-minute span for me to be there, for my presence to be there. By the time I get halfway through a cigar, I'm walking out that door.
So technically a guy that's supposed to, I guess in the estimation of society, by stereotypical means, a philanderer who doesn't drink, doesn't smoke. I mean, it seems that you live a generally clean lifestyle.
Yeah.
Let's go into the monogamy issue. I want to start off by saying that I respect your honesty. I've had a lot of people on NiteCap, and sometimes people tend to say what sounds good. You know?
That's the problem right
Yeah. I think that truth is a liberator. I think that we understand each other as a society when we get to the depth of who we are. If it's right, if it's wrong, I don't know. But a young lady sent me a tweet that said, I don't understand you men sitting there talking about monogamy like it's something so, far-fetched. Do you have a daughter? I don't have a daughter.
I have a daughter.
And the question,
I have daughters.
and exactly, Chad, the question is, you're saying what you said in the conversation, which is if a man has options, he's going astray. What do you tell your daughters when they're setting out the date, meet that guy that likes them?
My daughters aren't even at that point yet.
Yeah.
But I have my daughter that's 16. She knows how I operate. She understands.
Yeah.
If you're gonna be dealing with somebody,
Yeah.
go opposite of what that is. Go opposite of what I am. Go opposite of my beliefs or whatever it is. I'm not gonna be able to control who she falls for anyway.
So Chad,
that's all I have.
See, Chad, if you telling her go opposite of who you are, that means you don't agree with who you are.
Why would I agree? Why wouldn't I agree? I'm telling you, I can't commit to you, not you in general, but whoever that is that I'm dealing with at the time. How is that not me? How is that not me? Let's be logical.
Okay.
Let's be logical right now. Let's be logical. Everybody want to sugarcoat shit. Let's not sugarcoat it.
Let's put it on the table.
Ain't no one man dealing with no one woman for the rest of his life and only that one woman. It ain't happening. It ain't happening. It's not.
So we talk about monogamy. I think that my belief is people say monogamy is right. I don't know about right and wrong.
There is no right and wrong.
My thing is
those are rules. Those are rules that made up.
But the way I look at the situation is by the outcome. That's how I judge if something is good or bad for me, by the outcome, right? And by the outcome of having more than one woman, the outcome usually isn't good in society.
Look at society. The outcome of having one ain't good either. What you talking about? The outcome of having one. What's the divorce rate, man? What's the divorce rate?
It's
how many people are divorcing, maybe not cheating, because the money ain't right no more. The situation ain't beneficial no more. Half the situations is flawed anyway, because the women only deal with certain men because it's beneficial.
Okay.
Like I said last time we talked.
Yeah.
If that plate wasn't full, would she come and sit at that table and eat with you?
Let's touch on that topic. Cause we live in Miami. And
ain't got nothing to do with it. It don't matter where you at.
True.
But we're going to use Miami as an
example. We use my example.
Right.
I've had women that says, Peter, look, man, you ain't trying to talk about women with no substance. Okay. I believe it's a man's world. I believe that women put out and exude exactly what they think we want them to be. So, Chad, let's be fair. If you're in a position, I know my personal experience, I've dealt with certain women that I knew this ain't the one that I can read. This ain't the one this is not the one I have to put in work in. This is something that I know it's not going to be for the long haul. I knew that deep down inside. I knew that. And if it was the nice girl, I know when I meet the nice girl, I might have to do certain things. I might have to put an effort in. And I didn't want that. So what I did with that, we all know it. There's certain women you know from the jump you meet, this is not wife material. So how are we going to use that? Well, how are we going to use that woman's example to justify what we be doing? I think sometimes, Chad, let's go. Do you think sometimes we create a situation to justify our BS? No? No? Chad, some of the women out here in South Florida, the clubs, the VIP, whatever, you know some of them girls is not girls that you know you want. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong because I saw.
I'm not in the club. You got to tell me.
But yesterday, it's just you said something on Twitter that was very fascinating to me. It's fascinating. Like I said, I can't call it. I wish maybe I was there. A girl said, "Do you mind my past?" A girl said, "Do you mind my past?" And in our last conversation, you said there's no such thing as a hoe. And I'll be honest with you. Most men got an issue with what a woman did before them. You said you don't mind.
I don't don't care. Because what you're doing is you're forcing women to lie about what they've done, and you're meeting their representative. You're not meeting who they truly are because of how we judge them. I mean, there are very few like me that really don't care.
Very few.
So I'm thinking to myself, I'm looking at society, right?
Okay.
And how we praise certain individuals and, oh, I want to be like that. If some of these women on Twitter, just in life in general, knew the private lives of some of their favorite people, they'll stop in front. Excuse me. Just, I'm trying to emphasize that the curse word, if they understood what goes on in some of their private lives, because, I'm part of that circle where I hear the stories.
Exactly.
I know what's going on. So everybody, on Twitter, be trying to be, only if y'all knew.
But let's touch on that, man, because I'm going to tell you the issue I got. Men in opposition, men who, you think about the upper echelon. You grow up, a woman tells her daughter, go get yourself a successful man. Get yourself a man that can do something for you.
That's what everybody want, right?
Yeah. So, I think we've reached a point as successful men where, do you think we're a little bit entitled? Because there's a lot of women who go to school every day. They work hard. They're not out there popping bottles. They're not out there doing reality shows. And maybe we don't want them. Maybe they're not exciting to us. And I think these women are saying, this is ridiculous. I'm a good girl. And Chad is saying, ain't no such thing as a hoe. Chad is that guy that's successful, that's made it in society. And he's basically saying, look, I like a hoe.
But I like
whatever hoe is.
I like everybody. That's what, I'm different.
Mm.
Like, everybody ain't thinking or rocking the way I'm rocking. Like, I like everybody. I don't care about your past. Whether you're a good girl, whether you're a bad girl, whether you've been around the block. I like a little competition. Ain't nothing wrong with that. The more bodies you had, the better for me.
But
It's a ridiculous way of thinking, but it keeps me at peace all the time.
how does that keep you at peace?
Because it does. Because I don't have to worry. I don't care. I don't care. Never have. Never will.
So then, Chad is saying that woman that's sacrificing, quote unquote, her societal virtue.
Who told her to sacrifice?
Society.
She shouldn't be worried about sacrifice. That's the problem with women now. You worried about what everybody thinks.
Chad, me and you both know the more times you engage in certain sexual activities, it scars you a little bit, Chad. Come on. Chad, come on, man. Chad, I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to tell you the truth.
Scars who?
A whole man told me once, the best way to stay out of the jungle is to don't go into it.
Child, please. What are you
Chad,
talking about?
Chad, you know what I know in a certain lifestyle when you start
And
dealing.
it doesn't have to do with lifestyle either. Let's not go there because the janitor cheating on this girl. The dude working at Burger King cheating on this girl. You watch TMZ, you watch World Star Hip Hop. It's happening every day, regardless of profession. Dude ain't working. As women tell you, the broke men are probably the best out here anyway.
Why they the best? Because they don't have options, right?
No, I'm talking in a sexual manner. I'm just like,
Oh.
Yeah. It's so funny.
Because guys who are successful, we can do whatever we want. You don't really have to.
It's so funny. I'm sitting here thinking to myself, think about women. Women want a man, want a rich man.
That's a problem,
The
though.
problem is they don't even like the individual they with.
Indeed.
They like what he can do for them. Because I know a lot of wealthy dudes right now that have gorgeous, what we consider dimes, no substance, but like Ross said, she can dress well. That's sleeping with broke dudes. Because what that rich dude is lacking, he's not very attentive anyway.
Exactly.
But that broke dude is filling that void.
It's funny you say that. I had a conversation with LL, and I addressed the monogamy thing. And he was interesting. He kind of was on your side a little bit. And Peter, let's not make this thing a one-sided argument. That Susie's soccer mom is out there doing her thing too.
They are.
So Chad, in the Chad reality, you're basically telling society that we need to just wake up and get out of this dream.
At some point we do, because these are rules that were made up. Morality. What we're trying to do is counterproductive to human nature. That's why it's so hard to do. There's a reason why it's so hard to do. Because I think, for me, you're not supposed to be doing. Maybe you got all these fine women, your curly hair, your eyes. Outside of that, you are an accessory. That's it. No substance, like we just said a few minutes ago.
We talked about earlier.
Substance. All you are is basically a mannequin that looks good.
But
if that's all you have to offer,
but let's go back to what we talked about.
I'm just saying.
If you see a shallow woman, show me shallow men. Because the truth about women, think about what I'm saying. Chad, let's be honest. When you in a lifestyle, you meet the woman that want to sit down and get to know you and go to the park. You meet the other girl that says, yo, I'm going to bring two of my girlfriends to do whatever. Chad, who you picking? Chad, we've been having the most honest conversation probably in America. Chad, you got the girl that meets you and says, I want to get to know Chad Johnson. Let's go to the park, eat a slice of pizza.
I'm going to do that. But actually at Starbucks.
Okay, Starbucks.
That's my greatest asset is communication and listening.
So, but no, Chad, the woman that says, I'm going to get
why
two of my girlfriends.
Why can't you have both of them? Why can't you have both situations? Because I've done it before.
Because the situation with that woman that wants to take you to Starbucks, she's not going to tolerate that other madness, Chad.
But then you have to be able to switch. You got to be able to adapt to the individual you're dealing with.
Okay, so Chad, what is it about the Starbucks situation you like compared to the other situation?
I love sitting down talking with a woman of substance. Those other two, those accessories, or like I like to call them, mannequins. There's nothing outside. There's nothing inside. You look good on the outside.
So you know that about them.
Yeah, but what I do wrong?
But so basically, we as no, because I've been there, bro. You preaching to the choir. Okay. But what I'm saying is, I knowingly, I was dating a woman, great woman at one point, sweetheart.
Why you married her? What did you wrong?
Because listen, I'm trying to see. We searching for truth because the truth gonna set us free. I met this other one into all kind of stuff, and I told my buddy, I said, bro, I left heaven to step into hell. I told him this. Why is it we consistent? You just said you know them
you left heaven, right?
Yeah, to walk into hell.
How do you know it wouldn't have turned into hell? You think it would have been peaches and cream for the long haul?
No.
Exactly.
Nothing is peaches and cream for the long haul.
For one, I don't like that we do.
What?
Women love the title. The title. My man.
Because it shows ownership,
my
Chad.
But I have this concept, this is weird, I don't want to call it superstition. Everything with a title comes in the end. Whether it's a book, whether it's a movie, whether it's a relationship. I'm more so rather have an understanding.
So you're not an idealist.
I'd rather have an understanding. I want you to go back and ask your grandmothers, ask your grandfathers, all those people, they love to throw up, oh, when my parents been together this long. Ask them to be truthful with you. Ask them to be truthful with you and ask them seriously. Did Daddy ever cheat on you? Did my granddaddy ever cheat on you? Tell them to be truthful. Because my grandma already sat me down. You know, God bless the dead, my granddaddy gone. Man, she done caught him before, pulled up on the side of him, close to the door so he couldn't get out the car, so he couldn't go nowhere. I done heard the stories. This is the generation before us. Everybody loved to throw up the story how long other people have been together, but that considered that real ride or die, no matter what.
You know what? I'm gonna throw you a bone there. You're gonna probably appreciate this one. We were talking earlier. I've been doing my research, and there's all these studies on monogamy. Quite frankly, it seems that none of these people know what they're talking about. I've read every article there is, and it seems that by nature as a species, it says men should. Okay. Having said that, culturally speaking, we're a very biblical culture. In the Bible, it speaks of Solomon. Solomon had 300 concubines, whatnot. So we were talking off the cuff that in some cultures, this is something that's accepted, men having. But I will say this, I'm Caribbean. And the Caribbean stereotype is you have your wife, you got Susie on the side. And culturally, the Caribbean woman says, just don't bring it around me. So a lot of men have justified that reality, but I realize I don't think women like that. I think they just accept it. Is that something they should accept?
No. Don't accept it. If you think it's out there, if you think whatever your standards are, everyone wants to shoot and have the high standards. Well, just understand, the higher you keep shooting, understand what comes with the territory.
That's a, Chad, you don't have an idealist. You ever been in love, bro? This is the most honest conversation in America. You ever been in love?
Yeah.
What happened? How? How?
We really need to replay that whole story.
How? By seeing other women? Why did you get married? Why did you get married? That's another thing people want to know. If you see this as a doom, a dead industry, why you got married?
If there was a woman that I would have loved to deal with for the rest of my life, that I would have loved to wake up, I could have been 85 years old. I would love to wake up to that individual. I don't even need to say that.
That same person, yeah.
Yeah, you know, like on some real.
You really love that woman. Damn.
Yeah, I don't play.
You're capable of love.
Yeah, and when I wear that, I was proud about that too. You know, but I never ever sold a dream, that it would just be you.
So Chad, you have been in love before.
Mm-hmm.
What happened? You said you could have woke up with her.
Every day. Yeah, that individual. I mean, that's the first. And think about this. Talk to me now. I lost my virginity. I think I was a late bloomer. I was a late bloomer too.
That's why. That's why you're so wild.
I was a late bloomer. I'm talking about senior year. I'm not. Senior year to me would be considered a late bloomer for some of the stories I'm hearing, some of the things that are going on today.
Yeah.
I'm talking about might have been a junior, maybe a senior in high school before I even.
Was it your girlfriend?
No. Just someone I was dealing with. Actually, the mother of my daughter, my oldest, my 16-year-old.
You know they always say the first relationship sets the tone of how our relationships are going to go forward.
You can't do that because everybody you're going to meet is going to be different.
It happened.
Everybody you meet is going to be different.
The woman I was with in college, I would say probably that was my first serious encounter, and we was in a very serious relationship, and it was one of those unhealthy, it was one of those kind of crazy situations that I thought somebody, if you could love me that hard, and then after we broke up try to destroy my life.
Who wouldn't?
It made me not think that every woman I meet
would probably do the same thing.
And that's why I don't listen. I have trust issues. When they say they love me, because this one said that and she tried to destroy my life after the fact.
But they will all do that. They will all do that.
You're telling me all women would try to destroy?
I would maybe not destroy, but there's a scorned woman. It's something you don't play with. When a woman doesn't know what she'll do until she's put in that situation, and then it goes south.
Because you know what's so funny? Try to think about that situation. I didn't even scorn that situation. That woman is so funny. After that situation, I think I made a lot of errors because of what that person did. But I think that to continuously be in bondage to that situation, I'm the only one losing. You know what I mean?
You ain't losing.
I am. I'm not giving other people a choice. I'm not giving other people a fair shake. I have a wall. So you
letting your past put that wall up?
And you gonna sit here and tell me you not?
Nah.
Chad, you gonna sit here and tell me you not? There's no back issues that's causing you to say I don't even want to take the chance and giving somebody my all.
Because I'm giving you that truth from the jump to where I don't have to worry about my past and what happened in my past, because I understood the type of individuals I was dealing with from the get-go, from the jump.
So when
you go shopping, all these health freaks, when they drink all this healthy stuff and you make all this healthy stuff, you read the print, you read the ingredients.
Yeah.
You know, so you know what you're putting in there. You know how much you're putting in. The same thing when it comes to women. You know what you're dealing with already.
That's what I said back in the conversation. So we choosing somebody that we ain't trying to take serious, and then we justifying and saying all women are messed up because we choosing that.
I don't think they all messed up.
I forgot. You don't believe in a whole.
I don't think they messed up.
Chad, we in a culture today where there's a lot of women who are educated, who are hardworking, and they're saying, why are women like Kim Kardashian and these people?
There's a reason they're winning. There's a
Please
reason
answer me
they're
why, because a lot of
winning.
women want to know why.
There's a reason they're winning.
Why? A lot of women want to know why. I told women all the time, they're like, I don't understand it, Peter. I'm a nice girl. I went to college. I go to church.
You're a nice girl. You go to church. You went to college.
Why doesn't that successful man choose me? Because I'm not turning tricks. That's why I wasn't choosing them. I'll be honest with you. Let's keep it real. Let's go back to the girl I want to sit with you, read the Bible, I don't know, take a walk in the park, and Susie Lou over here that says, man, I got 3 of my girlfriends. We could just do whatever.
It depends on the guy, though. Depends how many guys are attracted to that. And you really can't use that example about the church girl, because these days they the worst ones.
Chad, you realize what we keep coming back to? You keep trying to justify.
I'm not justifying
But we
anything.
keep trying to justify not being faithful as saying there's no nice girls out here.
So you think because the girl is nice, the guy's gonna be faithful? Don't go there. Don't do that.
Of course not.
Don't do that.
Isn't that messed up?
Don't do that.
Okay, so why?
It doesn't matter what the woman does. It doesn't matter how. It doesn't matter how good she is. He's going to do his
I'm
thing.
happy. You know what?
Anyway.
You know what, Chad? I'm happy you said that, because we was talking off the cuff about these packaged life coaches. And look, I'm gonna go in. All these books women read about how to get a good man, think like a man, all this stuff. I wanted to let women know there's no key to getting a good man.
If you know, there's nothing you have to do. That's the key
and
thing.
you know,
There's
that's
nothing
where we
you.
agree
There's
on.
nothing you have to do. There ain't no.
So we the
Ain't
ones
no
that got
book.
the issue now.
No, what you mean?
We got an issue.
It's a choosing process. The guy has to choose. He has to want you.
That's what LL said. He said monogamy is a choice.
Whether you going to church, whether you stripping,
And I'm happy you said that.
if he wants you, he's going to deal with you. You don't need to do nothing extra.
I think a lot of women put a pressure on themselves of what's wrong with me, and the truth is I let them know ain't nothing wrong with them. It was nothing wrong with the ex-girlfriends I had that was good to me. I just wasn't ready. I just wasn't ready.
Oh, they don't have to do nothing extra, man. Somebody's out there for you. Somebody's out there for you. But I keep that the cheating word is so cliche, and if you think you're gonna meet somebody, my God, if you're gonna meet somebody that is going to deal with you and only sleep with you until your demise,
I think it's possible, Chad. I think that my favorite word from the last story was evolution.
just do this with me.
I'm gonna do that shit, but I'm telling you.
You off beat. Come on, man.
We gonna get on beat because
man.
Look, man. I'll repeat.
Man.
Let's break it down to the stereotypes. I was reading this article. Something I've always thought
They
about.
want a good-looking dude. They want to do with money. Girl, he gotta have this. He got, you got all these standards. But do you know what comes with that type of guy that you want? That they want? Come on, man. Put it together. You playing Connect 4, but you only got 3. You only playing 3. Connect all 4.
Chad, you realize we are both, and I've been victim of this. We are both putting the image of women on the lifestyle we lead.
Me?
There are some women that don't care about that. Hell, they're few and far between these days.
There's some women that don't care about that, right?
There's few women that just want the heart. I mean, they're few and far between in today's day and age.
Why is it so hard for them to get a man? Why is it so hard for them to keep a man? If they've had one, why?
Because they themselves are not happy with themselves.
Why wouldn't they be?
I think monogamy, Chad, I'll be honest with you. I think that when you meet a good woman, if you even...
They all good. Let them tell it. They all good. They good enough for me. Everybody good enough for me.
Chad, who hurt you, dog?
Who?
Chad, who hurt you? Somebody hurt you. I've been hurt before. Who's hurt you, Chad? Because you're speaking from a space of hurt. In some regard.
I'm not hurt though. Not right now. I'm cured.
No, but somebody hurt you.
I'm cured. I've been cured.
Chad, remember what we talked about when we have these multiple women? If you're going to sit and tell me that reality isn't empty, and that reality after a while sometimes you don't feel burnt, knowing that when you reach that level, man, I'll be honest, when you reach that level, when you're younger, or you just don't understand the game, when you're a successful guy in your position, women doing you, man. They get to say, I slept with Chad Johnson. Come on, Chad, be honest, man. They get to say, we think sometimes we're pimp, we getting over, we conquered this, conquered that. When you are up here, they get to say, they slept with Chad Johnson. They get to say, I know exactly why he did it. And they sit around. This is real talk. I'm gonna tell you what changed my whole outlook on this. I went out one night a couple years ago. Saw the girl, I was talking to this girl in a little bar, little lounge, whatever. Saw an ex-girlfriend. And she went to the girl and she said, oh, Peter? That's my ex. She said it in a manner where I felt cheap. Chad, you're not gonna sit and tell me.
They all do that.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. So Chad, how have we fallen as men where we don't value ourselves enough to let women talk about us like we cheap?
You worry about that?
Yeah, I'm worried about that.
Why?
Because I think that society has made us as brothers, especially brothers, feel we're not kings.
That's the problem.
Talk to
Again,
me.
you doing
Talk
like you stated earlier.
Talk to me.
Like I have this gene. I don't know where this gene came from in me.
Mm.
Where I don't care what society says. Society doesn't dictate anything I do. You worried about the way your ex talked about you.
Mm.
I don't care about what any woman that's ever been with me in my past says. Negative. Do you know I've never talked negative about anybody I've ever been with?
You know what it is, though, Chad?
Let me finish. I've never, ever said anything negative because I don't care. I don't care. Once that point, I'm loving everybody. Once we cross paths, I'm loving you. I don't care where you go. Go get married, you get pregnant, you have a baby, you have another dude, the whole 9 y'all, everybody, every last person. I have a relationship or a friendship with every person I've ever been with. Ever. Well, except one.
Why accept that one? Because you loved her.
No, because there's really no way that she changed her number. That too.
I think you loved that woman. Like I really didn't believe watching the shows and all of that
I
stuff.
love everybody.
No, you really loved her. She did something.
No, I love everybody. You're not understanding. I tweeted every day to millions of people. Randoms. I walk up in the middle of the street, I tell everybody I love you, and I really mean that.
You know why what that girl said? It wasn't what she said that bothered me.
The way she said it?
No.
The tone?
No, that situation just, it made me think about me as a man more. It made me realize that, man.
You're thinking too much.
Nah, I'm not. There's more to us than a penis, Chad. There's more to us, man.
It is.
Society might not want to believe that. Society might want to say brothers just run around and play sports and holler at women and where these, just run up and down. But we got a mind, heart, body, and soul. And that's what, as a man, I think that's what we need to strive to be seen as, man.
Nobody think about that.
You don't think nobody think
These
about that?
dudes ain't think about that.
And that's a problem, though.
Period. Ain't no problem. It's not changing. There are people like you. There's a small percentage of men like you that are worried about that. That care about what women think.
It ain't about worry. It ain't what I care about what they think. I believe, right, that we are all connected souls. We are all, there's nothing you do on this planet don't affect nobody. There's nothing Chad Johnson does that does not leave an imprint on the souls and minds of people. Man, I saw your Twitter, your social media. You're one of the most influential people in pop culture.
By telling the truth.
You have people, listen what I'm trying to say.
By telling the truth.
You, Chad, you have people, literally young men, women, whatever, that sometimes live and breathe by what you say. And if you're going to sit here and tell me that you're not concerned about telling them something that may mess their mind up.
Why? It's enough accounts on Twitter out there with quotes and scriptures.
They choose Chad, though.
And I'm going to give them the truth. It's enough accounts with quotes and scriptures. You read it, oh my God, you retweet it, and you're going back to being exactly who you are after you read it.
I don't think so. I think people have
If
influence.
you really try to live your life based off those quotes and scriptures,
I don't.
you're going to pull your hair out. I'm just telling you, you're going to pull your hair because it's not going to make you. Are you truly going to be happy like that?
What's interesting about you? You're such a real person that to them people, to those people, it's just not tweets. So you have influence, man. I'm telling you right now, you have a lot of damn influence.
My influence.
You do.
What you see is my truth, not anybody else's. I'm not putting on. I'm not trying to be a political robot.
Nah.
I'm giving you, Chad, I'm giving you how I feel.
Yeah.
You don't have to agree with it.
I don't care.
You know how many brothers, how many cats that wrote me on Twitter, email and saying, man, yeah, I agree with Chad. Like they looking up to you, like, yeah, Chad said this, Chad said X, Chad said this. Little girls are thinking too. What Chad says, ain't nothing such as a host. I can do whatever. Chad, you gonna stop not be accountable,
you
man.
You should be doing what you want to do anyway. Because the women in Atlanta have to do, they meeting anyway. Because they worried about getting judged. You worried about getting judged, just, if you're gonna deal with you, you're gonna deal with you. Because you come across squeaky clean.
I don't believe in squeaky clean.
Yeah, I'm just saying, but still.
I said earlier.
It's not going to make him stick around any longer. It's not. Because you go to church, because you go to Bible study.
I don't believe.
Because you strip it. I'm just saying.
I agree.
There's nothing you can do. Either he's going to be there or he's not. In the, what we like to call holes, the reason that they're winning, probably because, I don't even know why. Don't ask me. But they are winning back to back, and they've been winning for a long time.
They're winning because we're weak as men. We love sex. Let's keep it. Let's stop the foolishness. Chad, we love the sex.
It's part of life.
But that's what I'm trying to say. So it's a part of life. It's a part of life. So why we can't recognize the other side, the beauty in the mind?
Ain't nobody think about that, man.
We need to be.
This ain't Def Jam poetry. Ain't nobody thinking about that, man.
That's the problem with society, though, Chad. That's a point in society. You got little girls twerking at 5 years old.
People have been talking.
You got little boy.
The way you talk right now, people have been preaching that for the longest. People have been preaching what you talking about right now since let me finish, since the beginning of time. And it's still that same small percentage of people preaching it, and they still have that same small percentage of people believing in it. And what is everybody else doing? Steadily going on about their life, and the hoes are steadily winning while we sitting over here preaching about goddamn mine. And
Chad, I'm gonna have a daughter, and I don't want to live in a world where she thinks hoes are gonna win.
What's happening?
What's happening is
if they was winning back in the 60s, they gonna keep winning. You ain't changing it. I'm not changing it. And when we gone, my daughter ain't changing it. It's not gonna. It's a continuous cycle until everybody wants to change.
Our conversations, you know by now I'm an idealist.
I like it. I like you being an idealist.
Chad,
I'm a realist.
Chad, if Dr. King and these guys were realists, we wouldn't be sitting right here. You wouldn't be sitting in this big old house. You wouldn't. When Dr. King was talking this type of stuff, and the brothers were saying, man, come on, man. Racism this ain't gonna never happen.
What was Dr. King doing behind the closed doors?
You gonna really go there, Chad?
Just answer the question.
Don't
sugarcoat it.
What was the man had infidelities issues?
So we not being real. We're not being real right now.
We're being real and truthful.
What was Dr. King doing behind closed doors?
Infidelity issues.
All right. Oh, you don't want to say hoeing? Why don't you just say hoeing? Don't sugarcoat it.
You was hoeing.
Period. Thank you.
Thank
you. Thank you. This
ain't
just
unlike you, Chad, the man wasn't running around saying that's what we need to be doing.
I didn't say they need to be doing it. I just told you how it is.
But I don't think
I didn't say you need to do it. I didn't say you need to do it.
The man, and that's alleged. You know, one of his biographers. It's alleged.
This man had. Okay.
It was alleged.
We not even gonna go there. I'm gonna let that go.
Yeah, because I don't want America. It was alleged. But no, we talked about